Hello and welcome to another walkthrough of my scene. So far the abstract cube hasn't changed a whole bunch since I last edited it, since the last post on my blog. However, I just wanted to go over some simple things, talking about the background that I intend to be using. So as you can see, basic general set of the cube, it's got six of these like glossy squares all on the different faces of the cube, and then the material that's on here. There's bevel deformer on the actual cube itself here. You see the bevel deformer there, and they got the displacement map material here. So first of all, I'm just going to rename all of my materials quickly, just to make things easier. So basically, just by doing this, it'll allow me to pinpoint things easier and more quickly, I guess. It's just better, it's more organized, and to be fair, I should have done this from the start. Okay, so now that that's all done, I've got a bit of 3-point lighting going on the cube. However, this was just to create the test renders to show the different developments. I've got two cameras. Camera 1, got a mid shot, and then camera 2, I've got an extreme close-up of the different vertices here. So just basically showing all the details. And the main reason why I had this extreme close-up was to show the effects with the bevel deformer. On my blog, I listed problems I had with the displacement map, saying that the map wasn't connecting at the vertices here, and then adding this bevel deformer seemed to do the trick. So that's why that's there, and the camera's just basically set to show that. As well, said before, the lights were just set up as well to help illuminate the whole object, especially with the target light here to put some more emphasis on this vertices here. You can see it's a lot brighter than this other side. This central light, sorry, here is very cold. It's a kind of blue light, and then the other two are a bit of a peachy colour, slightly warmer, and then the target light here at the very top is just plain white. This is just to create some warmth, and you can see the light on top there, just to create some different looks. Really, I was just trying to experiment. So that's the general setup of the cube. I'm hoping that whenever I create the background and create all the assets for my animation, that I'm going to put this all into a null. So it's all very organized and very contained. So if I need to change something about the cube, literally just click into the null. So this is just how this cube here can expand. Just click into the null like that, and then everything will drop down, all the assets, all the different elements. So it'll be very handy. Also, it's key to note as well, I've got HDRI map here. This can't be seen at the moment, but if I zoom right out, there we go. You can see a HDRI map, and this HDRI map just basically gives the glossy surfaces. So this black material, if I go into the reflectance channel, it's very glossy. It's very, very glossy, and I've got gloss and smudges. So the smudges is the actual final layer on the material, but the actual gloss itself, it's got no roughness to it, and it's got very high reflection strength. So if I was to render this, you can see here at different angles where it's reflecting the HDRI map. So yeah, just see some grass, bushes. That's a house back there, isn't it, or something like that? Tree. So yeah, that's basically what the HDRI map's doing. It's giving the glossy materials, or the general materials, something to reflect. However, as this is going to be in a space environment, I'm going to need obviously a space material or space looking material, and the way that I can do that is by going into the color channel, texture, surfaces, star field, and star field literally does what it says, or is what it says, sorry. It's literally just a star field. And very much like the way I've done the HDRI map, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new sphere. I'm going to make it incredibly large, like that, so the cube fits inside of it. I'm going to get the material and add it to it. And there we go. You see all these light points here, they are basically stars. So just going to label that quickly, get rid of that. and now I have two spheres. So the main problem now that I need to sort out is so I've got the HDRI map here, and the reason why it looks funny is because I have basically you have this tag called X-ray, which basically allows you to see through it. So if I didn't have that enabled, I wouldn't be able to see inside. So let's just zoom in. Okay, there we go. So as the cube is now inside of this map, it's inside of the starfield sphere, which is going to be the background. These lighting, the 3-point lighting and the target lighting might need to be changed. This is something which I'm going to have to think about later on when it comes to the X particles, or X particles asset being added to it. Obviously, I want some emphasis on this on the cube. However, I'm not sure how much will look good. These are the things that I need to think about. So, as well as the 3-point lighting being used, there's going to have to be additional lighting to illuminate the X particles material. So I might have to select something different, one that can just generally illuminate the whole thing, and have extra area lights to highlight key aspects. But thinking that this sphere is kind of adding a lot more work than what it needs to, and to a degree, yes, it is. So I'm just going to turn the HDRI map off. And the main reason why I want to use this sphere is because obviously you can see it's 360 degrees, it's all enclosing, and as in my animation I intend to have lots of different angled shots. So some might be from up, some might be low angles looking up, some might be high angles looking down, and some are dynamic where they're constantly moving. And the reason for using the sphere now is kind of more apparent because it's everywhere. It's not gonna break anywhere, and there are other ways you can add these sort of complete backgrounds, and that's through using the background and foreground environments, I guess. And I've done this before, where you go and add a Cinema 4D tag, add a compositing tag. Now, I've added it onto the sphere, but just for demonstration purposes, you can add a compositing background. So I think what I've done is I've added a floor of a color, or a just like a plane, and I added the compositing tag to it and composited a background of this similar material, and that works fairly well. However, it's only limited to the size of the plane. With this, it's just all enclosing, and to me it seems a lot easier. So that's the kind of main reason for using it. Also, good thing I guess is as well, because it is a circle, I could drop down the polygons to make it render faster. However, it's still going to take a little bit of time to render anyway because of the cube. It's quite complex, so I'm not really too fussed about that. But overall, that's kind of my justification for using it. If needs be, I can always switch over to the other to the other method of creating a background, because although the X particles material might be big, I don't think it'll be too big. And obviously you can see here, this is the frontal view, this is the right view, and this is the top view. So obviously you've got here this. So this is the outer sphere. Then you've got the HDRI map, but you can't see that ends just around there. But the X particles material, or the X particles ring, needs to fit inside of this sphere. So this can be made as big or small as possible, or as I want. And yeah, really that's pretty much it. Obviously there's, I think the stars do grow in size, like the larger or smaller it gets. So this will be something I'll have to render out and again test, but hopefully it'll be alright. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. That's until I pretty much create my X-Particles material. There won't be anything else really I can do to the background in order to tweak it. I will make a post on this on my blog and provide some renders of what the whole thing looks like, just the material itself in general and with the cube inside of it. And yeah, that's going to do it. So thanks for watching and stay